Welcome back, Source Nation. Now here's your host, Kathy B.
And welcome back, Source Nation. Welcome back. You're listening live right here on the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. Well, we are into our first hour, and I have a beautiful and dynamic young lady here in the studio with me. I am going to be speaking with Life Coach Megan Smidt of Your Coach Meg, and she's coming into the studio tonight because she's going to speak with us on how to create a balanced, joy-filled, intentional life that you love. What I love most about Meg, and this is what I'll say prior to bringing her in, is the fact that she helps driven and compassionate women create balanced, joy-filled, intentional lives that they love. And that means for you to do that, you have to do one thing, and I know that Meg surely agrees with me. You have to begin to love yourself. In order for you to create the balance, in order for you to create joy, in order for you to create love and begin to bless others with that, you have to start with self. Love to learn yourself, ladies, because once you do, all of what we just stated will fall into place. I do believe that Meg is here in the studio with me. Meg, hello and welcome to the Ladies Lounge. How are you this evening?
Hello, Kathy. I'm great. It's so good to be here with you tonight.
Awesome. Well, of course, Meg, you know that I just gave the ladies here in the lounge a little bit of information about you, but, you know, I can't do your bio justice because what we've done is we begin to share you with the Source Nation family and definitely the ladies here in the lounge. But if you will, share with them a little bit more information and we'll jump into the conversation from there.
Absolutely, Kathy. Well, I have been a life coach for the past 6 years, and I'm 41, so I'm not super young, but I appreciate that you called me young. And I have bright purple hair. I have a lot of fun. I really love life. I'm living out in Arizona with my husband and our youngest of 5 kids, who is 19 years old. And we have a couple dogs that we love. And I just really love helping women live their very best lives.
I love it. I love it. And, yes, ladies, she does have purple hair, and I tell you, it is sassy. I love it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. And you just said that you were from Arizona. And guess what, man? Had I known that, I would have called you up. I just left Arizona not too long ago.
I am so sad. Girl, we would have had a blast.
I know. Well, the next time I'm in Arizona, I definitely will call you up and let you know how long I'm going to be there so we can get together. But let's share some information with the ladies, because what I love most, Meg, about you is the fact that you said that you love to speak with women that are driven and compassionate. And not only that, they're living a balanced, intentional lives that's filled with purpose, joy, and passion. And one of the things, or one of the 2 things that I talk about here on this platform is understanding purpose and your passion. I call those 2 P's. When those 2 areas of life meet, oh, how amazing is that?
Absolutely. That is when you are absolutely sitting in your magic. And that is the best possible way I could put that. You know, when people first come to me for coaching, Kathy, they're typically not there, right? Like, they need help with that. Okay. But these women, they're incredible. They have a zest for life. They're excited about life. They care about people. They care about what they're doing. They really want to make a difference wherever they are. But a lot of times they just need help getting started. And so that's what we do. That's where we begin. And so basically, I help take them from where they are now to really where they need to be, getting to that purpose and passion that they were so specifically designed to live out on this earth.
I love that. Now, you said something that has resonated with me, because when I began my journey a few years back after coming out of a divorce, I felt that there were some things that was missing in my life, and I had to just go back and really begin to figure out what that was. And just to share with you, Meg, just a little bit. I'm coming from a life where I was in corporate America, and I know a lot of ladies that are listening tonight can feel the same way. Coming from corporate America, being someone's wife, a mom, then transitioning into not being in corporate America anymore, no longer a wife, a single mom, and raising two boys on my own. So trying to figure all of that out, and then really not understanding what my purpose is and what my passion is. So let's talk to the ladies, because like you said, a lot of women and a lot of people in general may not have a good sense or handling on what that is. Talk to us about that, and why is that so important?
Sure. Well, what I find is that a lot of times, like Kathy, you might think about, any time in your life where maybe you've decided you're going to make a goal, or you have maybe even like a bucket list or a New Year's resolution or something you want to do. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't come to life. It doesn't happen because probably it really wasn't supposed to be your specific goal. It really wasn't your plan. It was maybe what you saw someone else do, or maybe what everyone else is doing, and you think, well, I'm supposed to do that. But what I care about is really getting down to the stuff underneath that makes up who you specifically are, your passions, your values, all the things inside of you that make up who you are, and putting all those things together to specifically design what you are supposed to do, what you were created to do, not everybody else. In the midst of all your life stuff, right? Because it's when we're in those transition periods like you're talking about, where you're going from living a certain life to maybe something else happening. And that transition catalyst could be a lot of different things. For you, it was divorce. Throughout your life, you can have a lot of different transitions happen. And what's important to do is make sure that you are being true to you, what's inside you in the middle of all of that, to really shine through it and to be doing exactly what you were made to do.
I love that. I love that. Now, with that being Meg, let's talk a little bit more about the women that you're speaking to. And just as you stated on your website, the compassionate women that understand the balance, that understand living your life to the fullest, and accepting the areas of passion, joy, and purpose. To get there, what do we have to put in place? Because the one thing that I find very therapeutic and that has helped me a great deal, and it's not because I've been in media for so long, but I love to journal. I have to write things down. Just as you said, having a goal and having plans. If I don't write it down, then it really has no relevance to me. So talk to us about that. What are your thoughts?
I have so many thoughts about that, Kathy. I'm like trying to even think where to start, because I have so many thoughts about that. Number one, that is exactly where I start with each one of my clients. I just don't start with like making a bunch of goals and going into a bunch of actions and doing a bunch of things, because we're probably going to change all that anyway. Even if you come to me with like a very specific thing, unless you've done all the reflective work that it takes to start with. We do a lot of reflecting back. Now, we're not going to stay in the past a whole lot, but we are going to do a lot of reflection for who you are. We are going to figure out what your core values are. We're going to figure out what are some goals that you've had in the past, what worked, what didn't, what got in your way. We're going to figure out a life vision statement for you, specifically for you, and then be able to really walk that out, which is so cool. Walking that out is that sweet spot. That's when you're really living with your passion and your purpose combined. And I'll tell you, journaling is the key so many times in all of that. In fact, just yesterday, I released a brand new free journal guide on my website that you can download, and it will walk you through a whole month, the whole month of July even, let's say, 31 days of walking through who you are and what you really need to be doing, what you should be doing, what your purpose is, what your why is to start thriving in specifically your purpose and passion.
I love that. I think that is so important. Again, when you're able to clearly put your plans down on paper, to me that's when they begin to formulate. And
Absolutely.
You can truly see exactly where you're going. Now, there's one thing that you said that I think that we need to talk about a little bit more is the fact that we as women, we as individuals, we tend to look at other people and say, oh, man, if she is doing that, then I know I can do that, and, you know, I might can do it just a little bit better, what have you. But you can't live your life based upon what someone else has done. And you can't be in the area of trying to expect their success to be your success.
Right. Absolutely.
So let's talk about that, because I think we need to get a full understanding of what is meant for you. Your life is meant for you. Whatever your journey is, whatever your path is, to me, I feel like God has assigned that to you. That's your assignment and yours only. What are your thoughts about that?
For sure. Well, you know, comparison is so hard because literally we live in a society where that's what everybody does, right? But the problem is we're only seeing a certain aspect of whatever they want us to see about their life. And it's so easy to get caught up on that, but it's so dangerous at the same time. And one thing that that you really need to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out, you know, maybe it's going into a new career, Kathy, like what you have done, or any kind of transition that way, is the more that you know about yourself, the more you're going to be able to anticipate if that really is what you should be doing. So, like, if you're not a great self-starter, if you maybe you're the kind of person that thrives in working in a team environment and those kind of things, you're probably not going to do so well working from home by yourself on a home-based business where you have no interaction with other people. The more that you really know who you are, what brings you alive, what brings out your passion, what makes you feel the most alive, is where you're really going to know what you should be doing and maybe what isn't yours. And maybe that's okay that it's somebody else's. That's what they were designed to do, and that's amazing. But we need to figure out what that is for you to create that magic for your own life, for sure.
I love that. Now, with you saying that, would it not equate to being confident? Because I think you have to be confident in knowing and understanding what it is that you're able to do. And I also believe whatever it is that you're able to do, when you recognize that, you then can begin to bless others.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Well, what I also think happens, well, through that confidence too, you're really, I feel like at that point, you're able to see all those things in other people and see how you all even work together to impact the world. So it's not even all about you. It's not all about you, even though that's where it begins, right, is really figuring you out. But once you have you figured out inside you, all those passions, all those things, your why, once that's figured out, it literally impacts every single life you touch, whether it's a person at the grocery store, someone at the bank, in your own home, your kids, your spouse, whoever, every single life that you touch will be impacted in a positive way. And that's what I love. That's what really makes me come alive with this.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that you have to be not only confident, but you have to be ready and be in acceptance. When we are going through life, there's a lot of things that we go through. Just the transition. Transition is hard for people to deal with. That could be a difficult area in life. But yet, when you're going through transition, I can tell you, I've gone through a lot of things.
Girl, me too.
The last 8 years. And
yes, I get it.
I had to deal with. I probably would have, if it was anyone else, they probably would throw their hands up. But with me, I just say, okay, this is my assignment from God, and I just got to get through it. I just got to get through it. It was assigned to me, and it's for me. And the thing about that, Meg, is when we're going through transition, and we talked about being confident, we talked about expectations, but happiness, I think being happy, accepting that, accepting the transition, but being happy in the midst of the transition. What are your thoughts about that? Because I think you have to find some form of balance. You have to be happy. You have to find some form of peace with your life, and just be okay with it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Kathy, I can tell you from experience as well. I have been through a ton of transition just in the past recent few years. Literally, we have moved across country twice in the past couple of years, and at the same time, a lot of my kids scattered because everybody's adults, and so I have kids all over the place. I have, my whole life has been completely changed, right? And every single time one of those things have happened, it hits hard. Like, it hits really hard because you know that one side of you is hopeful, right? Because you know that there's kind of like no limit to what you can do, in a lot of ways, or that there's a lot of different ways you could go with this transition. There's a lot of different doors that are opening or closing or whatever. But the other side of you is grieving what's closing, what's ending. With any transition, you have this kind of mixed emotion thing going on that's very, very hard. And the best way really to get through that is to, number one, let yourself feel it. Whatever you're feeling, let yourself feel it, but don't stay there. A big thing that all my clients will tell you, I say all the time, is whatever you're doing, is it helpful? Is it helpful? And if it's not helpful, then you need to go the other direction, because otherwise you're going to get stuck. But at some points, it is helpful to be sad, and it is helpful to be angry and frustrated and whatever. It's just not helpful to stay there. So I don't want you to hear me that you shouldn't be sad or you shouldn't be frustrated or whatever, because you need to. You have to grieve when you're going through a transition. But you have to let yourself work through that. It's really exploring there. It's reflecting there. It's going deep there so you can get through it to get to that other side.
Oh, yeah. I believe that. I love that. Source Nation and the Ladies in the Lounge, we are speaking with Coach Meg. Tonight she's coming in and she's giving us some great information in reference to how to create a balanced, joy-filled, the intentional life that's truly meant for you, the life that you're going to now love, giving us great information. Now, Meg, I want to go back and talk a little bit more, if I may. Great things that you have truly pointed out in tonight's conversation, and I want to thank you for that. I want to transition over to when you are feeling in a negative state, when you put your focus and energy on the negative side of this transition, and like I said, it's hard. A lot of people really cannot deal with that because transition requires you to understand or have the mindset of change. When you're changing, that equates to transformation. Transformation then equates to growth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to, it's like you're going through those phases. So talk to us when you place your energy within that negative state and you can't get through the phase of where you need to be. What are your thoughts and what is it that you're sharing?
Sure. Well, the first thing you need to do is get some help, whether that's a trusted friend, whether that's someone professionally, whether a coach, a counselor, someone at your church, anyone that you trust to walk alongside you in that. Please don't try to do it on your own. That will 9 times out of 10, that's going to keep you stuck longer than you need to just be stuck with your own thoughts and feelings, and because they can be deceptive. And so I would really encourage you, the first thing is to really find someone that you trust to walk it out with you, that you can really be honest and ugly and yourself and, and feel everything with, that you can really trust them with your heart with it, but then also to really, in a wise way, be able to guide you through that process of feeling what you're feeling and working through some of the insights that happen with that reflection. I fully believe in journaling your way through that. On my blog, I have several resources that can help you, free resources that you can download that can help you through a transition specifically, journaling your way through it. One way that I have found to be really helpful in journaling your way through transition is to start off at some point that you can think of in your past where maybe you felt your best, when you really felt like, man, I have it together. I feel alive in my life, all those things. For some people, that could be when you're a teenager. For some people, it's maybe college. But you can probably think back to a time in your life where you really felt like you were full of joy and passion and purpose and whatever. Start there and explore who you were at that time. What were the things that really helped you come alive during that time and really helped you feel your best and be your best? Who were you around? What were you doing? What hobbies did you have? All of those things. And that's just a really good place to start to get to where you want to be, where you want to be feeling and want to be doing and finding your purpose through that.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. I love that. Let's talk about creating the relationships that we spoke of. How do we get to that point? How do we create relationships? How do we create relationships that are meaningful when we're in that transition state? What are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing is to really pay attention to who's around you. One thing I know about God is God always places the people around you that you need. It's just up to us to notice and then act on those relationships. We don't want to miss that. He will always bring you who you need. I really want you to hear that from me right now. He will always bring you exactly who you need. You don't want to miss it. So you have to be aware, and that is hard to do when you're going through a lot of yucky stuff. It's hard to be aware because most of the time you just want to retreat. You're feeling awful. You just want to disappear. But I'm telling you, that is the last thing that you should do. You need to take an inventory of who's around you, and you need to pay really close attention to who needs to be around me during this time. And it might be someone different than you think, off the top of your head. It might be somebody that you haven't thought of in that place that's really the perfect person to walk through it with you. So that would be the first thing, is to take kind of like an inventory and honestly proceed with caution. Be careful. You need to be careful about who you give your heart to and open up to about things that are full of so much hurt and, and those kind of emotions with you. You can't just trust that with anybody, and don't go putting it out there for everybody. That's not okay. You need to guard your heart through those things.
Powerful. I mean, as you were speaking, Meg, I was thinking about how Source Radio Network came about. Soon to be 4 years that this has been in the making. And I tell you, 4 years ago, if you would have asked me what was Source Radio Network, what are they about, who are they, I couldn't have told you anything because it was far from my radar to do anything with media 4 years ago. I wanted to do something different, but God said, no, that's not what you're here to do. I'm going to give you a platform where you're going to have a voice. But one of the things, as I was listening to God and fighting him at that point, Meg, was the one thing that I asked for was, God, I need you to align me. If I'm going to execute your vision as you have laid it out, I need for you to align me with the people that will understand this mission that you have given me. I need to be in contact and get in contact with those folks. And I tell you, one person that is so dear to me, and it's crazy how we began this relationship, but she came on a show that I was doing, Meg. I'll tell this quick story. She came on a show, it was an entrepreneur show that I was doing, and she responded to an ad, and she came on at a time where it was started, the radio station itself was starting out, and had a partner, and my partner decided that they did not want to be a part of this anymore. So it was just me by my lonesome. And this young lady came on an entrepreneur show and told us and shared with us about her business. And shortly after that, God put in my heart that this was the person I needed to take my company to the next level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Called her up and shared with her what was going on with me and told her that God said she was the one that could take me to my next level, take the company to the next level. And it's my public relations manager, Trucy Jeffcoat. She had no clue.
So cool. I love it.
She had
so
no
good.
clue about this business. And she and I have taken this company to the next level. And just as you said, you have to have people around you that are going to believe in you, believe in what it is that you're trying to do, and work together. And that's how she and I formed our relationship as best friends and as business partners to take this mission to the next level. So, yes, I fully believe in that. And I know that we have ladies here that's listening in tonight that believe the same. So great job. I have a question that just came into the studio, Meg, and I want to share this with you and see if we can try to help this young lady out. What do you do when you are just stuck? You don't know whether to go left or right. Lord, I've been there, Meg. Have you been there?
Yes, me too. I have so been there. Yes.
So talk to us about that. What should this young lady do?
Yeah, so the first thing, to be honest, the first thing you need to do is go on my website and download this free journal guide, because that's where you need to start. Like, I hate to be so I'm going to promote this, because that's not my heart at all. But I will tell you, if you don't know which way to go, the first thing you need to do is to get to know you. And that's exactly what this journal guide is about. It starts off the first day, which I have a lot of people starting tomorrow for July 1st, because it's a 31-day guide. And literally, it's meant for you to do it 5 minutes a day. It does not take a lot of time, okay? But so basically, the first day, it has you explore your values. What are your core values? That's where to begin, okay? When you're stuck and you don't know where to go, you need to start with you, inside you, because probably the reason why you got stuck is because you lost sight of that, okay? So that would be the first thing I would have you do, is really taking some time to shut out the noise, shut out all the stuff that's keeping you stuck, okay? And take some intentional time to get to know you again, because you are amazing and you are worth knowing. And we all need you to know you so we can know you. Okay, so that might mean that there's things in your schedule that need to go. There's a reason why you're stuck. You might, I don't know you, I don't know who you are, but these are some of the things clients, when they come to me with that, most of the time it's because they are, number one, they keep doing things that they're not supposed to keep doing. Like maybe you're doing things throughout your day that worked really well maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, but it's not for your current life season. It might be time to take a look at how you're spending your time to see what needs to go. Or maybe there's some different things that need to be added. Maybe you're not doing just what you're supposed to be doing. You might need to add in some things that are specifically for this moment in your life. That could be why you're stuck. You could be focusing on relationships in your life that you're not supposed to be focusing on. Your focus could be completely wrong for what's right now in this season. That sometimes is the reason why people stay stuck. Or maybe you know what you need to do, you're just scared. You have fear, you have doubts, you have all these normal things that people feel, but you're getting in your own way. And you might just need some help from somebody else to help you have the courage to get out of your comfort zone and do something different, to not let that fear and doubt rule you anymore. We need you unstuck.
Wow, I love that. I love that. We have another question that has come in as well. How do you overcome fear?
Just a little question. Well, this is what I know about fear, okay? Fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. It is absolutely impossible to have fear and faith at the same time. So if you're trying to overcome fear, what do you think you need to do? You need to fill yourself with faith, so much faith. And if you don't have it, find somebody that does and have them speak it over to you every second of every day that they possibly can. Because I'm telling you, that is the biggest antidote to fear. And we forget. We forget all the time that God is really bigger than we think he is, and we need to let him be. We have got to let our faith win and not fear, because then you can never be living in that purpose and passion that you were designed to live in. It's impossible.
Love it. And I tell you, the ladies are loving what you're saying tonight, Meg, because they're typing away. Okay.
Yay!
The next question that the ladies are sending in from Source Nation, what are your thoughts about a vision board? I love vision
Oh, my
boards.
gosh. Don't get me started on vision boards. We could talk about that for hours. Well, here's the thing. I love vision boards. I use them. I help my clients create them, all those things. But I will tell you, before you just go out and start making a vision board, what I would love for you to do is get to know who you are first and what that vision is first before you create that vision board. So where I start with my clients is first we figure out values, right? Because that's what everything comes down to. If you have anything in your life right now that's making you feel icky, that you just know something isn't right, it's probably because it's in complete conflict with your values, okay? So first you want to start there. Then you do a little bit more reflective work on like, what do I really need more of in my life right now? What really, what am I missing? What isn't here that I need here? And you do a lot of reflective work there. You figure out what helps me feel great. Like, what do I love to do? What are situations I've been in my life? What are things I've done in my life that really make me feel alive? And then I'm sure coupled with all of that, you kind of do have a little general idea of the direction that you want your life, your business, your whatever to go in, right? To create this vision board. But before you make that board, I really want you to spend a good half hour creating your life and wellness vision statement. And what that is going to be is that you're going to just free write all those things I just talked about. You're going to free write about your values and, all these passions that you have, all these things that make you feel good and come alive and be your best self and all those things. And then you're going to craft that into a present tense, maybe 3 to 4 sentences about the life you actually want to be walking out right now. And then you take that and you start creating this vision board. And this vision board can have anything on it. And it can really look like anything you want it to look. And it doesn't have to be really something on your wall. You can do it on a computer, whatever you're comfortable with. But you want it to be pictures and quotes and scripture and ideas and anything that comes to mind for you when you think of that vision. Okay? But if it's really not your vision, if it's somebody else's vision, it doesn't matter. You're creating it like for no reason, right? It has to be your vision. So I really want to stress that. So then once you have this, and you're constantly changing it, right? Because that's how visions work. They kind of change a little bit and they morph a little bit. So you're always making this what it is. And the thing that I love most about it is it's constantly in front of you. It's a constant reminder of the journey that you're working towards. It's the constant, you can touch it, you can pray over it, you can do so many things with it, but it's always there to be at the center of what you're doing so that when you feel like you're losing track, it can bring you right back to right where you're supposed to be, working towards those goals, working towards that vision of the life that you were created to live.
Right. I love that. And then I want to add something because I think that this is very important. I love vision boards. And I don't think vision boards need to be as complex. I think that they need to be very
absolutely.
Simple. They need to be very simple because the essence of a vision board, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Meg, I don't mind you saying, hey, Kathy, you're wrong. Let's change it. I really do believe that vision boards are merely the goals that you're wanting to attain and achieve. So you have to make them very, very simple. Because to me, I think when you look at your goals, you want to be able to check them off. So don't make them hard to where you know that if it's a 30-day goal or if it's a 60-day goal or maybe it's to get to a certain point in a year, you want to be able to understand what your progression is. So make it very simple where you can literally see that. So I'm correct.
Yes, the only thing. Okay. Oh, you are so correct. Absolutely 1,000% correct. My only caveat that I would put with that is make sure they're actually your goals first and that they're not someone else's goals. Because that's really where it doesn't matter what your vision board looks like or anything. If they really aren't your goals, it's not going to matter. They're going to fizzle out because it's not what you're supposed to do. But absolutely keep it simple and keep it you. Make it your colors and all those things, your language, all that stuff. Absolutely.
Awesome. We got another question that has just come in. And it reads, it says, hi, Coach Meg. I'm in a relationship that is a dead-end one, but I don't know how to break away. Not abusive, just not productive. We're on two different paths, and I feel that it is holding me back from my passion and purpose. Do you have any advice on how I can walk away and begin to walk in my passion and purpose?
That is a really big question, and not knowing the ins and outs of that make it kind of hard to answer. But I will tell you just a little background in how I feel about relationships is, number one, whenever people come to me with issues that they're having in their relationship, the first thing we do is work on that specific person because we can't do anything with that other person. We can't control them. We can't anything as much as we'd like to. And it sounds like you might be at that point to where maybe you've exhausted all that. I don't know. So I'm going to just assume that that's the point that you're at where you've worked on you and you've tried everything maybe, and this just isn't the thing. I don't know. But at that point, I would just really encourage you to start this process of really getting to know what that passion and what that future does look like for you, and then literally list out all the steps that you need to do. And that's different for everybody when it comes to getting out of a relationship or getting into another one. The first thing that you need to do is seriously take some time, list out all the steps that realistically need to happen, and just start aligning your life with those steps, one step at a time. one step at a time, as long as it's not like an abusive or anything like that. You know, not knowing more details, that is the best advice I could give you.
Awesome. Great information. And as we are wrapping up the show, Meg, if you will, I want to talk about some of the things that you have going on right now. I know you mentioned the 30-day journey. Talk to the ladies, if you will, a little bit more about that and how can they partake in the journey.
Yeah, so I created a free resource, a free download for anyone who wants it. You go to my website, yourcoachmeg.com. On the very first page at the top, there's a teal-colored banner that says, grab my free 31-day journal guide to find your why and begin to thrive. Click on that. It's going to be sent to your inbox, and you can start working through it. And it's basically a 31-day guide and only takes 5 minutes a day. So I suggest you go to a spot in your home or anywhere where you can be as free of distractions as possible. Set a timer for 5 minutes, whether that's on your phone or whatever, and just spend that 5 minutes reflecting on whatever that day's journal prompt is, and go in order, because all of the questions kind of build on each other. And I also think it's great if you find someone to do it along with you, whether that's a friend that you might have, face-to-face, or someone virtually even, to be walking this out with you. And then I'm always here for you too. Send me an email. Let me know what's going on. I want to hear about your journey. I want to hear what you're discovering about yourself, what you're learning about your values and your, some really good goals for you, and what you need to change about how you're walking out your life right now to realign it with your purpose and all of those things in mind. But absolutely, it all is centered around this premise of the fact that most people are literally wasting their time chasing other people's goals. And until you really get down to who you are and who you were created to be and what you were created to do, none of that stuff matters. So that's where I love to start and focus on, so that we can get you where you really need to be.
Awesome, Meg. I love it. I love it. And I hate the fact that we have run out of time, but I definitely want to make sure that, if you will, we always like to leave either with some encouraging word or maybe a tad bit of information that we did not share in tonight's conversation. If you wish to do that, I would love for you to do so at this time.
Absolutely. I just want you to know that you are amazing, just as you are. And even all those little things about you that might even drive you crazy, there is a reason why you are that way. And I just want to encourage you to even embrace that stuff about you that might even drive you or other people crazy, and just know there's a reason why that's there. And it's okay. And you can use that towards your purpose and your passion and all of these things. We just got to get to know what that is, so you can let the world know and impact that for God's glory, for sure.
Awesome. And if you will, Meg, share with everyone listening tonight, how can they get more information about you and continue to support you and your efforts?
Sure. You can go to yourcoachmeg.com, and you can find me on all the different social media channels under Your Coach Meg.
Great. And, Meg, this is what I want to do, if you don't mind. I would love for you and I to reconnect in 30 days to talk about how this new journey guide has helped some of your clients that you're dealing with, and maybe share with us some of the responses that you're receiving in reference to that. And let's reconnect. So I would love to have you back here on the lounge in the next 30 days to talk about that, if you don't mind.
Kathy, I would love that so much. It would be great.
Awesome. Well, Meg, it has definitely been a pleasure having you here in the lounge with me and sharing wonderful information with the ladies. And I look forward to talking to you in 30 days.
Thank you so much for having me, and you all have a wonderful weekend.
You do the same, Meg. Talk to you soon. Be blessed.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, ladies, you heard it right there from Life Coach Megan Smidt. of Your Coach Meg, was here in the studio with us tonight, and tonight's conversation was all about how to create a balanced, joy-filled, intentional life that you love. What I love most about our conversation tonight was the fact that Meg was so right. You have got to start where you are in life right now. And first things first, love who you are. You were created to do wonderful and amazing things. When you were placed here on earth, and I like to say when you were birthed, God gave you a purpose. He gave you a purpose. He gave you passion, and he definitely had the plan laid out. It is left up to you to tap into that. When you do, how beautiful it will be. The fact that you understand your passion, the fact that you understand your purpose, is now the time to bless others. I love it. And definitely she will be back here in the next 30 days to share with us about her 30-day journey. And, of course, to get more information, you can go to www.yourcoachmeg.com and partake in the 30-day journey. And if you are doing that, call in on the night that she comes back and let us know how that has helped you, because I truly believe, just as she said, creating a journal, writing down your plans, writing down your goals is very significant. When you do, you can truly begin to see the progression. That's something that I do. I love to write in my journal, something that I've had for quite some time. And if I don't have my journal with me, you better believe I have some notebook paper with me. I'm writing everything down so I can then transition it over into the journal. So great information. All of her information and more can be found on Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. Go out today and begin to support Coach Meg, doing some wonderful and great things. You guys are listening live right here on the Ladies Lounge. I'm your host, Kathy B. We'll back at it again next week. Join us for great conversations, amazing guests, back here on Source Radio Network. You've been listening live to the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. I'll see you all again. Be blessed.